It's the host, Sydney United 58, taking on the Northwest Sydney Spirit. We are moments away from kickoff. So thank you for joining us on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. I'm Dominic Cronidi. And just a slight delay in proceedings getting underway here. But we should be momentarily starting this highly anticipated clash between a finals-bound Sydney United 58 and a Northwest Sydney Spirit side with plenty left to fight for. Although a bit of an uphill battle if they want to try and scrape into one of those last final spots. A win here today is a necessity. And they've got the talent on the field, and they've proven this season that they definitely can do that. And after last week's result for Sydney United, anything is possible. A massive shift in the premiership race last weekend. Golden opportunity for Sydney United to go within reaching distance of first place, and just stumbling against a relegation threatened St. George City. Anyway, the delay, it looks like just a slight crack in the net in the goal of Jay Coates, the Spirit keeper. So Leroy Jennings trading in the football boots there for a pair of tradie hands, helping out our linesman to get that hole fixed and hopefully getting us underway momentarily. Bit of duct tape does the trick there for Leroy Jennings. So we're underway here, and straight out off the kickoff. It's a rising trend in this competition that we're seeing. Spirit, obviously quite a condensed middle of the park with their formation, and their wingbacks obviously getting through a lot of work throughout most games, and they're liking their chances here of putting a United 58 under a bit of early pressure in deep into their own territory, and it hasn't paid off in the early stages of this one here. So a 5-2-2-1 for Spirit. Nicholas there, one of the three centre-backs, kicks it out, and another Sydney United throw-in. So we'll get to the lineups, starting with the hosts, Sydney United 58. That ball dangerously played in there and had to be cleared at the last second there, if not Farah Coco was through on goal. But for the hosts, number 1 in goals, Adam Pavlicic. Number 3, Bailey Rule. The skipper, number 4, Adrian Vlastelica. Number 6, Dylan Rose. Number 7, Leroy Jennings. 10, Carlos de Oliveira. 15, Julian Chop. Number 17, Michael Glasic. Number 19, Michael Krislovic. Number 21, Koya Nakano. And number 44, Farah Coco on the left wing rounds out the starting lineup. The bench is number 5, Anthony Tomlich. Number 9, Kyle Chimenti. Number 12, Gabriel Tillo. Number 14, Liam McGing. 22, Nicholas Pratsina. Number 35, Tomislav Ozanic. And number 41, Adrian Jamie Bazina. Good, strong leg out there from Krislovic. Almost won the ball back and forced to clear it there was Mostafi. So for the Spirit, their starting lineup: 2, Aidan Mostafi. 5, Owen Henderson. 6, Corey Kavanagh. Number 8, the captain, Grant Cornwell. Number 9, Callum Keeley. 10, Costa Petratus. Number 12, between the sticks, is Jay Coates. 13, Simon Nicholas. 17, Riku Kobayashi. Number 18 is Andre Takami, and Stavros Serpes rounds out the starting lineup for Sergio Malfara's side. The bench is backup keeper, number 1, Chris Marks. Number 3, Kyle Williams. 4, Brady Smith. 14, Ben Duro. Number 15, Sam Armson. 21, Noah Peacock. 32, Thomas Mason. Is the matchday squad for the Spirit, who are looking to ignite something here with their first real attacking chance of the day. Here's Serps. Across the face of goal. Dealt with relatively easily by Vlastelica. Now Cornwell, back to Serps. Takami. Cornwell, first time cross. Kobayashi got a good head on it. and just took a pretty poor bounce, curled away and comfortably into the grasp of Pavlicic for the first time this afternoon. Goalkeeper tied first with clean sheets this season amongst all goalkeepers in this competition, tied with Marconi's Joel Wade. 12 clean sheets in the 24 games this season, as Vastalitsa, strong foot to get rid of that one, and that was a really dangerous chance. Set up there by Mostafi. Kavanagh tried to play the 1-2 with Mostafi. It will end up working for them though, with Petrados making the run anyway. Teetering dangerously close to the sideline. It's going to work. Kavanagh. And the 2 sixes combining there, and it was Dylan Rose winning that one. The exciting young centre mid has proven to be one of the best controlling midfielders in this competition. And very big things ahead for him, as Mostafi just tripping over his own feet at the crucial moment. Bailey Rule breathes a sigh of relief. Momentarily anyway, as that goes out for a goal kick for Sydney United. So plenty more action across the city this beautiful Sunday afternoon. We have at 3 o'clock Blacktown City hosting Sydney FC. Just down the road, Marconi will host St George City. Manly United will travel to the Rockdale Linden Sports Centre. And at 4 o'clock, Belmore Sports Ground hosts two of the biggest names in this competition. The Sydney Olympic play Apia Leichhardt, and a loss for Sydney Olympic today and a couple more results, a St George City win being one of those, would resign them to one of the 2 relegation spots. There's a great ball over the top. Krislovic is through. Could have been a high foot there on Cornwell, but both men playing on. Rose, a bit of space. Jennings. De Oliveira. Searching in his bag of tricks to get out of that situation. Does well, but Jennings loses it to Nicholas, and clearance straight into Carlos De Oliveira. And that is the closest throw in you'll get to not being a corner or a goal kick there, as Mostafi will collect that one. Lost possession in a pretty dangerous area here, Spirit. Rule went for the first time cross, and in all fairness, wasn't a bad effort. It didn't look, well, it did look pretty easy in the end for Jay Coates, but it was a lobbed cross that can give some keepers difficulty, but Jay Coates has been in pretty good form as of late. We'll see Chris Marks on the bench has been Spirit's #1 for a good couple of seasons now, and obviously with Coates in between the sticks now, lots of competition. It's a very competitive keeping room, as was the Sydney United one at the start of the season with Adam Pavlicic and Vedran Nenjedovic, 2 former A-League keepers in their own right. Obviously, Nenjedovic moving on. Petrados. The 2 10s going at it now. And it's De Oliveira who wins the battle. Bailey Rule in a tricky situation. Has to go short to Rose. And Rule smartly there, seeing the outstretched leg of his opposing number, Mostafi, getting it out for a throw and giving his side a bit of a relief. Basak now has played in both the 6 role and centre-back role this season, and Vastalitsa's had a few centre-back partners this year, mainly Classic and Liam McGing. You've also got Anthony Tomlich on the bench as well, who hasn't played much this season, but primarily as 6, has played his fair amount of time at centre-back next to Vlastalitsa, as Rose brings down Kavanagh, and probably a little bit too early to be issuing a yellow card there, but a pretty strong warning issued to the #6. I do have to say, as a football purist, it is very nice to see some of these matchups today. We've got the 2 10s going at it, the 2 6s going at it. Love a good numerical battle. United pressing high up on the pitch here. They know if they can get the Spirit on a counter-attack, they might be in good stead, given how far up the wing-backs push. Good ball from Kavanagh. Through goes Kobayashi, but he can't get past the brick wall that is Adrian Vlastelica. At this ground especially. So lots of options here. Goes in the middle to Petrados, and again Vlastelica clears it. Only as far as Kavanagh. Keeley turns. It was a decent shot, and the headed chance there from Petrados. Thought it was a penalty there, but he was offside in the end, and he had Pavlicic beaten. Obviously the header just a little bit too far, but I think when the whistle first went up, Pavlicic was immediately demanding that it wasn't a penalty. If that was the call, obviously the flag went up pretty instantaneously. Vlastelica and Glasic just playing it around with each other. Nothing really opening up, and the Oliveira drops deep to give them an option. It's a good 1-2 play there, but it's Kavanagh on defensive duties. Petrados with the cheeky outside the football. Keeley not in position though, and United will get possession back again. So these two sides very controlled and love just picking their way through an opposing attack, as Sydney United have done here. De Oliveira, Krislovic just over the foot, and Coates smartly leaves it out for a goal kick, and a first real glimpse of Sydney United 58 in attack as De Oliveira lifts his head in frustration. He knows if that was just a couple inches shorter, Krislovic might have been through on goal. And he's proven to be a very lethal striker. Obviously, at the back end of last season, when it was announced that Patrick Antelmi would be departing the club and one of the club's all-time leading goal scorers, it was questioned who would be able to fill those boots, and Krislovic has done well in his opportunities so far. Obviously, the crucial penalty in that Australia Cup tie against the Mariners. There's good ball over the top, just a little bit too much on it, but Coco had a good angle at it. Jay Coates first to it. Coates with the long diagonal, and Rule does well to get to it and plays Jennings through in the meantime. Pretty easy pickings in the end there for Owen Henderson. So Oliveira shifts the play now to the left side. Here's Nakano. Plenty of bodies forward, only two back now. And just about everyone back for Spirit as well. Rose turns Keeley. Gives himself a bit of space, and now good chance for Chop. Deflected back through to Chop. First shot on target for the game for United 58. It's not a bad one, but Jay Coates seen it all the way through. There's a decent crowd starts to build here at Sydney United Sports Centre. Obviously the team's doing well. The crowds do turn up in their numbers here at Adenza Park. It is a good sight. Vlastelica goes long now. Mustafi doesn't get all that header, and possession gained high up in Spirit's defensive half. Vlastelica assesses his options. Jennings tries to go first time, wins it back well. Plays it off to Chop. Another pass, De Oliveira! Offside again, but another good chance for United 58. think that was pretty clearly offside, but nice setup there by Julian Chop. And obviously Jennings, who coughed up possession there, but did well to win it back with a nice strong challenge. I think it was Simon Nicholas that he left out of position a little bit there, who pressed forward trying to kickstart a counter-attack and almost started something for Sydney United on the other end. So Pez header, only as far as Vlastelica. Kristovic chests it down and under a bit of pressure now, Rose. Vlastelica opens up the middle of the park now. De Oliveira's got options. Goes wide. Jennings was a bit flat-footed, wasn't expecting it. Keeps it in though. Cuts it back to Rule. De Oliveira, great first-time pass, and Mostafi does even better to stop it. The attack's not over now. Nakano, very central. Good stop by Kavanagh. And Nakano rapidly getting back into his position and halted that counter-attack, which was smartly done because there was a gaping hole on the left side of the fence. There's a foul conceded there by Kristovic. Mostafi, bit of space to engage the United 58 defense if he wants. Goes to Keeley, Kobayashi. Serpez gets past Nakano, lays it off for Petrados. Just wide of the back stick. A good piece of play there from Spirit. Costa Petrados, leading goal scorer this season with 6 to his name. Well, tied first, I should say, with Kobayashi. He's got 6 as well. I should correct myself a third time there because Yoshida's also got 6 goals. So 18 goals between those 3 players. Obviously, he's a pretty notable miss from this Spirit lineup. Shoki Yoshida came off last week in the first half with an injury, and speaking to Sergio Malfara pre-game, unsure of the severity of the injury, still awaiting scans, but all likelihood points to Yoshida's season being over with 3 games remaining after this. 4, I should say. And obviously, long ball. Coco, can he get to it? Just a little bit too much on that one. And a goal kick for Spirit. So Malfara announced during the week that he would be moving on after just 1 season at the helm. Obviously, he took over from David Perkovic after his spectacular run to the title last season. Moving on. Giving his side, his club, lots of notice as well to find a replacement for next season, which they have. It'll be interesting to see the change next season for the Spirit. Obviously no fault of their own, but they tend to find good managers and they're just continually getting poached. Adzi Oliveira goes to ground and took the ball forward with him as well. He's having a word to the referee. He's not happy about that. It's a 50-50 challenge, and more often than not, those tend to go the way of the defensive side. Rule. Direct to De Oliveira. Spinning header, but Mostafi cleans that one up. Kavanagh, great touch. Giving him an inch of space, and a pretty disappointing pass in the end there as Nakano does well to get past Kavanagh with a little flick back to himself and past the Spirit midfielder. Vlastelica now. Goes long, nice diagonal pass to try and pick out Jennings, and Mostafi shields him away, but Jennings still manages to get the ball across and not really endangering Jay Coates. And got to say, about a quarter of the way through the first half here, neither side really neither side's keeper really having anything challenging to deal with. I've got to say, there hasn't been much to deal with from Adam Pavlicic's side. The defense has been absolutely rock solid. In the last 14 games, just 9 goals conceded across all competitions. It's a pretty remarkable run. Obviously, their last game, a bit disappointing, that 1-0 loss to St. George. And prior to that, the miraculous cup win over the Central Coast Mariners. Another cup set for Sydney United 58. That sensational penalty shootout with 21 straight makes. And then before that, a 1-0 win over the Marconi Stallions, with Mason Wells getting the lone goal of that game here. It was a pretty good run, you could say, for Sydney United 58 across the last couple of weeks. And obviously they had that 1-0 win against Rockdale as well, so they were just on form of taking out some of the biggest names that this state has to offer in terms of football. Obviously Mason Wells in that last game, 2 late yellow cards, giving him a red card, and sees him miss this game. He's got 4 goals already this season, and although the stats don't show it, he's arguably been one of United 58's best, and certainly in the attacking third. It's been here for a while since making the move from the Bulls FC Academy. Classic. Stalitza had to go quickly there as Kobayashi was putting him under a bit of pressure, and it might have worked because possession's coughed up here. Petrados got chopped for company. Goes wide to Kami as he quickly bolts back into his position at the center of the park. Petrados gives himself a bit of space. Petrados fakes the cross first time, opens up the angle, across the face of goal. Pavlicic, brilliant to get there first. And Serpez was lurking, and he's still down, Serpez. It's like he might have caught the shoulder there of Pavlicic. Pavlicic seems okay, and Serpez finally on his feet. And Spirit temporarily down to 4 at the back. Rule does well to chest that forward to himself. Great touch as Vlasic tried to play it back to Vlastelica, who quickly warned him of the oncoming Serpez, who gingerly jogs his way back to right full back. Chop. It's built a very good connection with Rose for Sydney United 58 as of late. Both former A-League Academy products themselves. Rule dispossessed by Takami, but the pass from Kavanagh not on the money. And the diagonal ball has to be dealt with by Mustafi, and it's the first corner of the game for Sydney United 58. Coco. Short corner from De Oliveira. First time cross from Chop. Vlasic gets a foot to it. Coco! What a save! Jay Coates had to get a hand to that, otherwise the roof of the net would have been bulging, and that's a really good effort from Farah Coco. Credit to Michael Vlasic as well. Had lots of hands all over him. He couldn't get a head to it. Just stuck out the foot and brilliantly set up Coco basically from the penalty spot. And De Oliveira will look for more of the same here. Everyone back for Spirit. Long cross, Coates very nearly spilling the ball into the path of Vlastelica. Who would have thought he won the lottery there when that ball bounced? And his outstretched foot just a second too late as Coates quickly recovers. He's now under a bit of pressure playing it from out the back. Henderson. Cornwell. It's a very similar setup for both teams attacking-wise, as obviously the three centre-backs for Spirit just playing it around and picking their moment to send it forward, and you almost see the same with Vlastelica Glasic and Rose for Sydney United, who acts as a third centre-back in those attacking positions. But he does love to attack and get forward. It's Rose pulling out the tricks to get out of his own end, and now a bit of space to go forward. Beautiful ball, and Bailey Rule now, acres of space on the right touchline. Classic goes for a little solo run. Rule, great ball through to De Oliveira, and that is sensational defense from Mustafi, denying De Oliveira a path through on goal, using his strength to shield United 58's number 10 off the ball. Classic. Vlastelica now, the skipper. Jennings burns Petrados. Good ball in, and Nicholas, brilliant header away. Forced to De Oliveira now. And they can't clear it, Spirit. They can't clear it yet. Coco turns, and that's a great challenge. Serpez gets past De Oliveira. Now a chance for Spirit to start a counter-attack. They haven't had many attacking chances over the last 10 minutes, and they won't get much more with Vlastelica in their way. De Oliveira. Cornwell chases Coco down and gets rid of him brilliantly there. Grant Cornwell, and keeps the ball with his side, earning a goal kick there. And Sergio Malfara is very, very vocal on this touchline. Not happy with what he's seeing from his side. Defensively very solid, have limited United 58's chances to just that one from Coco off that corner. But other than that, they've been shutting him down and unable to crack the solid defense of the Spirit. "30 goals conceded in this competition in across 26 games so far. Pretty formidable record considering they currently sit in the bottom half of the table, Spirit. But obviously are closer to a finals position than the relegation zone, which is just proving how tight this competition is. There's a beautiful ball out wide, and Serpez, ball in the middle, dealt with by Rule. And a chance for United 58 to go the other way now. It's a pretty disappointing end to a really promising attack for the visitors. Chop cuts back in. Coco, space in the middle. Krislovic gets his run back onside. It goes to De Oliveira on the left. De Oliveira goes to ground. Cornwell almost earns his side a foul. Referee plays advantage. Grant Cornwell, the centre-back, he wants to get in on the attack and has to temper his run. Still sitting on the right wing, Grant Cornwell. Andre Takami just walks this one out of his own end, really. You'd think that was a dead ball the way he did. I think both sides just happy to pause the play for a couple of seconds just to get their breaths back, and United 58 will be thankful for that. So they get another chance to go forward here. Bailey Rule. So last time these sides played in round 11, it was a 3-2 win to Sydney United 58, and it was Krislovic who bagged a brace that day, and it was a injury time penalty that sealed the 3 points for United 58 and a thrilling 3-2 win. Farah Koko was the other goal scorer that day for United 58, and Kobayashi also bagged a double. But it's been a pretty mixed bag of results. You look at the last couple of times these teams have played. Jennings doing the defensive work to send that back to Pavlicic. So the two games they played in the league last year, Spirit bagged a 2-0 win away from home, and in the reverse fixture here in round 6 of the 2025 season, it was a 1-1 draw. Prior in 2024, Sydney United with a 3-0 win, and obviously go back to the 2022 Waratah Cup final where Spirit upset United 58 with a 2-1 win in a very, very famous cup final. Kavanagh going forward, falls to Kobayashi. Vlastelica blocks it again. He's been everywhere defensively for the hosts this afternoon. Petrados. Petrados again down the right touchline. He's teetering close to the edge. Henderson. Nicholas. Now Spirit, who have struggled to ignite the attack so far. They started off the game very promising, but United 58 defensive lockout showing its strength here. Here's Cornwell, giving his side an extra man in attack. Lurks in the box as the ball falls to Petrados. Thought about going long. There's plenty of aerial options there. Goes direct to try and find Keeley, and once again it's the United 58 skipper halting the attack. It's not over yet though. Mustafi, good ball. Vlastelica again. He has stopped, got to say, about 6 to 8 chances going into the box. Earning every cent of his paycheck, Adrian Vlastelica. The elevator heads it out, and it's going to be a corner. First one of the game for the Spirit. So first chance to show the set piece prowess. Good ball in, but just missing the head there of Petrados. And Coco deals with it. Nicholas sends it back out that way to Serpez, and it's going to be another throw for Spirit. No rush to take their throw-ins here either side, really. Cornwell having a bit of a chat with Nicholas as he got the ball there. United 58 have seen enough. They want the ball out of that back third. And Mustafi now gets past two. Kobayashi. Oncoming was Serpez and just missed the header, but it bounces wide to Petrados, tracking that ball. Kavanagh. First time ball over the top. Wasn't meant to be for Keeley, but he wins it back there. Kavanagh working hard to retain possession in a good area for Spirit. Keeley crosses over the goal before it could get back in, and a goal kick for Sydney United 58. Pavlicic goes short. Haven't seen that today yet from Pavlicic. Haven't seen that much this season, in fairness, from United 58. They like to go long. They've got the aerial threats to win the goal kicks. So obviously Spirit will be looking to bounce off their last two losses. 4-0 loss to the Western Sydney Wanderers last week, and that was curtailed by a 3-1 loss to NSW the week before. Kobayashi, the only man to bag a goal that day. Prior to that, it was a 3-1 win over St. George FC with Keeley, Mostafi, and Kobayashi, the goal scorers that day. Kobayashi, 2 goals in his last 3 games. Jennings. Nicholas and Jennings dueling for the ball there, and Jennings not happy with that. There was lots of contact in the back, but not enough to issue a foul, and it's going to be a throw for the visitors. Sydney United 58 will get that ball back. It was Keeley trying to head it back into the middle of the park and miscued it. It's out for a United 58 throw. As the referee ordered Bailey Rule to take that back, and he was mid-throw-in as he said it. Going backwards, I don't think the referee minded too much, letting the play go on for the time being. Nakano. Jennings tries to pick out De Oliveira, and good job there by Mostafi to pick out the pass. Petrados gets past Rose, and Jennings was tracking back and does well to give his side the ball back. Vlastelica, bit of urgency getting the ball out of his own end this time. Nakano goes long. Cornwell. Skipper cleaning it up again. His pass goes astray. It's picked out by Chop. Jennings calling for it. He's got space if they opt to go that way. Cornwell with a strong challenge. Play on, says the referee. As Rose pushes Keeley to the ground, and I think United 58 were claiming that Keeley went to the ground and touched the ball before the foul was called, and the referee had to call something there either way, and it was a foul for Spirit. Cornwell thought about it, but Jay Coates' shoes off. Owen Anderson it was. Mustafi's header straight out of play, and pretty easy job there on defensive duties. Sydney United 58 getting the ball back. Rose with a great throw in the middle of the park, and Kavanagh somehow, someway gets ahead to it. And good ball across to Petrados, is offside. It would have been stopped eventually by Rule if that ball was to go into the middle anyway, but Corey Kavanagh having lots of involvement in this Spirit attack. Rose, good curling pass to pick out Rule. Had to split 2 Spirit defenders there. De Oliveira. Chop. Just the wrong angle for De Oliveira, but he'll get another chance at it here. Coco. Rose. Rule. Probably couldn't have got to that, and Jennings has to track back to retain possession. Coco lays it off for Nakano. Hasn't had much involvement in the attack, Goya Nakano. Chop tries to turn Nicholas, and the veteran centre-back just too strong for the young midfielder. Goal kick, Spirit. It's been a bit of an anomaly first half for both sides. Both of these sides don't mind a few shots. Pepper in the goalkeeper. Sydney United third in this competition with shots per game, 12.8. Marconi and Apia lead the league in that regard with just a tick over 14.5 for both of them. Spirit in 7th in that ranking with 12.1, so we expect to see lots more actions if the statistics are to live up to it. Kobayashi can't get past Vastalitsa. The Oliveira deep in his own area. Has to get rid of it. And Krislovic not in the right position there, but De Oliveira probably wasn't aiming for him. Just had to get rid of it in that situation. This chop puts Mostafi under a lot of pressure. This is Krislovic with Nicholas, and he wins the ball back, but Simon Nicholas does brilliantly to stop that through ball. Otherwise, Chop was through. Serpez thought about playing it on the overlapping run for Kobayashi, but went for it a bit himself. Nakano bursting out of his line there to win the ball back. Krislovic almost gets to it, and Henderson launches it forward. Good touch by Keeley. Lastalitsa cops it to the head, and he does not look good. That's a bit of an accident there. Lastalitsa wearing his heart on his sleeve, trying to clear that one. And launching it. Launched it into the back of Takami and copped a knock on his way, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's forced off here. Lastalitsa, I haven't seen much movement. Copped a pretty bad knock and did fall, I think, again on his head as Liam McGing warms up. So Vlastelica back on his feet here and does look a bit ginger. Liam McGing still with the training bib on, so Vlastelica may be able to continue. We'll find out in the moments that precede. There's a good opportunity for both sides to reset, and as we've seen Sergio Malfara holding court on the touchline whilst Miro Vlastelica opted to give Dylan Rose all these instructions as his Sydney United teammates protected their captain. And he's back on, which is good to see Vlastelica to take a lot to bring him off the pitch. And plays back on here with Mostafi. It's interesting, a break that big just before half-time. We'll see the players pretty well rested heading into the second half. Might affect the substitution pattern, you'd say, with less fatigue. Good ball to Keeley. Vlastelica, his first test. After that, knock to the head, and he passes it with flying colours. Dylan Rose with the mid-air volley. I like the use of the other leg there to get a bit of momentum, but it's going to be out for a throw for Spirit, who again don't seem too interested in getting play restarted anytime soon. So the fourth officials board looks to indicate 5 minutes of injury time. So plenty of time for either side to open the scoring here. Rule. De Oliveira through the legs of Mostafi, and Jennings just didn't see the run of De Oliveira back their way, and it's going to be a Spirit throw. Miro Vlastelica was lurking over that ball. Mostafi goes long, and nothing doing there for the visitors as Vlastelica was almost enticing Keeley to go forward and make a play at that ball. Rule goes long, and De Oliveira's in a bit of space. Drags out Nicholas, and there's a bit of room in the middle if they can get it there to chop, and Jennings just going the safe route for the time being. De Oliveira, Rose now on the right wing. Gets it back in. De Oliveira gets a head to it, and a pretty easy save in the end there for Coates, but he did very well to get onto that and get a good bit of contact on it. It was just straight at the keeper. And Carlos De Oliveira. We do have a goal down the road, and it's St. George City who lead Marconi 1-0 now, and that is just absolutely massive for both the bottom and the top end of the table. You could hear the applause behind us, and it was the Sydney United faithful realising that they're in with a chance. They're still in this fight. Petrados. His ball is stopped by his opposing number 10. But Serpes has another go at it. It's deep and long, and Mostafi with a bit of time to think about his next move. Good ball in by Takami, and Kobayashi shielded away from getting a look at that from Vlastelica. One back brilliantly there by Takami. Kobayashi tries to get past Vlastelica, and the ball flicked up and hit the hand of Kobayashi there, so he's probably a bit lucky that the foul wasn't called the other way. It's Krislovic, a clear foul there by Nicholas, and I think he might be in the book for this one, Simon Nicholas. Final warning for the Spirit centre-back. 2 minutes to go here in injury time. Jennings, good run by Chop. Lays it back into the middle and there's just no one there for United 58. That was a great set of attacking play and just lacking the final touch in the crucial moment. Jennings. Tried to get it past Mustafi and wasn't able to, but we're going to throw for his troubles. Nakano. Klasok. Rule goes short and direct to Jennings. Classic, very advanced. Looking for the overlapping run. Chop. It's a dangerous pass to Rose. Kobayashi got there first, but Rose recovers. Now it's Coco. Back in from Coco, and it's in the back of the net! Farah Coco with a spectacular effort. And United 58 on the brink of half-time have found the opening goal. And it is some strike from Farah Coco. He had no right to score from that side. Thought it was a ball in, but it ended up leaving the back of the net bulging. United 58-1, Spirit 0. The final minute of injury time, Farah Coco pulls out something special, and it turns out to be the last kick of the first half. United 58 will go into the break up 1-0, and we'll be back here in about 15 minutes.
It's 0 at Blacktown City and Sydney FC, Rockdale and Manly 0 at Marconi, St George City 1 lead.
Every week, hundreds of thousands of people turn up around football grounds around New South Wales. Parents, kids, refs, coaches and volunteers. Cardiac incidents can happen to anyone at any time on the pitch.
Right now, not every club has a defibrillator.
And the ones that do are not always maintained or ready to use. In a critical moment, with a defib, that could save lives. That's why Football New South Wales, St John Ambulance and Toyota have come together for Every Beat Matters to help clubs around New South Wales to access defibrillators, cover maintenance and build a register so we know exactly where every unit is around the state. All you need to do is buy a ticket through Raffletix. $5 can make a difference. Every ticket goes towards funding defibrillators and maintenance for clubs that need it most. A live fundraising board shows exactly how much is being raised. And every ticket you buy puts you in the draw to win a Toyota Corolla. One ticket, real impact. Help your club be ready when it matters. So buy your ticket today.
A commanding punch. O'Driscoll's touch for Chipman. And the ball's good. O'Driscoll lays it off for Burgess. And the deflection takes it in. Set piece not dealt with. And Manly United draw first blood on Friday night. With de Robillard. And Ono, who's always an attacking outlet from left full back. He goes for goal himself. Not dealt with by Curto. And tapped in by Coop. And Manly are now full of confidence. Evans down the right. Coop there again! 2 in 2 minutes! They're still providing enough going forward to really look an attacking threat. De Robillard on the ball. Looking for goal himself. And it's going to be tucked in by Holm.
First time ball trying to pick up Meyer. Figueira to hit it straight into him. Can he get it past him? Franco Meyer. That is an exceptional finish. Good ball in, and the header from Kianese. What a finish. Risky pass there, almost getting a foot was through for Aramugo. They've done it. Robert Aramugo.
Pavlovich. Katrip's got a little bit of space here. Mustafi watching, waiting for the right time to approach. And now he engages. Katrip with a burning bit of pace. And it's a great goal for the Wanderers. Awan Lawal stoops in to head home. But first, this free kick. Anderson back. Hangs it up. And the header is in from Morrison. 2 for the Wanderers. And coming in to pick the pocket cleverly. That's well done by Chetinich. Pavlovich returns it to Chetinich. It is 3 for the Wanderers. Deliberate. Here's Petratos, given away by Armson. Pearson Kasawaya breaking forward. He feeds it through Awan Lawal. Only one outcome when Awan Lawal has the ball in that territory. And it's 4 for...
Out to Michael Cooter, and Rory Jordan's off and gone down the outside on that left-hand side as he's tracked across by Lockie Campbell. Looks to hold him up. Rory Jordan, well, 33 seconds in. They transitioned like lightning down the left there. Mount one more raid on the NSW defence, and it gets a deflection on the way through. And I think you'll find Presley Ortiz, as he looks to make it 3 for Apia. Presley Ortiz, he doesn't make mistakes from there. Presley Ortiz gets number 2 of the night. Falls short there, and he's onside. Presley Ortiz as he skips towards the 18-yard box, tracked by Campbell. 1v1, Tristan Prendergast. Presley Ortiz gets his hat-trick. The attacking players in teams that get all the kudos, and they look to pitch one back now. Union NSW.
Webster wide for Saba. Towards the line he goes, takes on McGing, works it in. There's bodies there. There's a goal to St George City. There's the opener on 48 minutes.
You feel as though Sutherland really aren't controlling the midfield at the moment as Najar breaks forward. Tamulkovsky puts it past Nizic. Interesting starting position of Tariq Maya on the edge of the area. Olsen steps up. And Olsen strikes it down the middle. Sutherland are level. There it goes. Cuts it back. Olsen arriving. Olsen buries it bottom corner. Some finish from Nick Olsen. Arriving late to the scene. Jordi Perez now to seal it. 3-on-1. Perez has Olsen to his left. Olsen for the hat-trick. And the win. Sutherland make it 3-1.
Fujita, and Luke Wall gets a touch, and now Major can look to play it forwards. That's an excellent ball. And a chance to shoot Kunyul. It's gone through the goalkeeper and it's an early lead. Malia. Dipped onto the crossbar. Qual with the header. And it bounces in. They have a second goal. Blacktown City.
Welcome back to the second half of action here at Sydney United Sports Centre. As Sydney United 58 lead the Northwest Sydney Spirit 1-0.
Welcome back to the second half, where it's Sydney United 1 leading Spirit 0. Progress scores from other grounds. Rockdale 1 lead Manly 0, and St George City still lead Marconi by 1-0.
As you heard over the speakers there, St George City with a surprising 1-0 lead over Marconi. And that means a lot considering Farrakhoko's strike on the brink of half-time here. Coco, the goal scorer there, almost getting something ignited before Sydney United 58, but not to be. So the live standings at the moment, Sydney United 1 point behind the Marconi Stallions. And by the sounds of it, St George City have bagged another. St George City could be taking back-to-back scalps of second and third in this competition in back-to-back weeks. Cornwell now with the throw and looking to start the first attack for the Spirit of this half, and Takami's going to go straight in the book. So it's Costa Petrados who went for the ball and took Carlos de Oliveira out in his way. So if you missed the goal in the first half, I'd strongly recommend going back in the stream and watching that. It was a sensational strike from Coco, one of the best this season, and for a man who's only found the back of the net 3 times in this competition this year, it's one of the best. So 4 goals for the season for Coco. That puts him in tied third for goal scorers for Sydney United 58 in this competition this season. He joins Mason Wells and Tomoki Wada with 4, and they trail Carlos de Oliveira, who's bagged 5, and their leading goal scorer, Michael Krislovic, who has 7 in this competition. Classic. Now Rose, who's definitely sitting a bit deeper than he did in the first half, with United holding the 1-0 lead. Jennings. De Oliveira. And they're really taking their time with this attack. Not seeing what they like in terms of openings, and they're happy to wait. Now something's brewing. Nakano. Chop. Back across to Krislovic. Nicholas deals with it. It's only as far as Rose, and possession right back in the feet of the hosts. Vlastelica, just a little bit too much for De Oliveira. He had the sun in his eyes. You see him try to block it out, and just a back step too much for Carlos De Oliveira as it goes out for a Spirit throw, but they are under a lot of pressure. Krislovic wins it back, lays it off for Chop. One more to Coco. Just got underneath at Farrakhoka and missing a really good chance to bag a second Farrakhoka. They're under pressure, bringing it out of their own end again here, Spirit. As Rose stops Kobayashi going down the right touchline. Closest to the benches here. Serpez offloads this one to Grant Cornwell, who's got a pretty lethal long throw in. Rose sends it forward and Cornwell straight back that way. Rose's header almost sent Krislovic through, and he wins it back here and gives Bailey Rule a bit of space to go out right. First time pass to Jennings, goes to ground, referee says play on. Mostafi. And that is a really good run there. Now Kavanagh. Simon Nicholas making lots of room going forward. He's played in the centre of the park before, so he's definitely used to it. Serpez. Goes to ground, and the referee doesn't seem too interested in it. It's going to be a goal kick for Sydney United 58. Pavlicic wants to get things started straight away. He's got Vlasic as the short option, but Petrados sees it as Vlastelica either side of him. Rule goes long. Mostafi tracking back to stop that one. And Krislovic wins it back again here. Across the face, Chop leaves it for De Oliveira, and he just sends it wide of the target. And that is two big chances in the opening 5 minutes of this second half for the hosts that have just missed and lacked that clinical touch. And Mira Vlastelica is visibly frustrated with that. Got to be excited and happy with the chances that they're creating, and it's just the finishing that's letting them down. Vlasic under a bit of pressure here and has to go back to Pavlicic. Hasn't seen much of the ball. It's a pretty confident sweeper keeper, Pavlicic, and it's probably a credit to the United 58 centre-back pairing that he hasn't had much work to do today with the ball at his feet as opposed to his hands. Vlastelica. Nakano. Coco with a great ball, and Nakano just a step too fast for that ball. As Takani brilliantly through the legs of Rose. And Spirit opening up here. Mostafi. Pockets picked by De Oliveira and held back by Mostafi, and De Oliveira went to go quick. Coco had a head start there on Serpis, and the defender caught up to him and wisely stopping the quick free kick. They'll get a chance to play out from their own end here. Rose. Chop under lots of pressure. Ball brilliantly won back by Kavanagh. Chasing his own tail there very hard. Henderson under pressure again from Krislovic. He's coughed it up this time to Jennings. Jennings goes for it and well over the target in the end. Cornwell just surrounded by red shirts and had to get rid of it. And inadvertently a setup. Another chance for United 58 to camp in their area. So sitting back very deep, Spirit, and almost inviting the pressure, which worked well for 49 and a bit minutes in the first half until a bit of brilliance from Farah Coco broke them open. A goal kick for Spirit. So Gabriel Tillo is going through his paces on the sideline. The teenage sensation started off the season as one of the stories in this competition, and getting a call up to the Joey's squad just a couple games into this season, and just been unable to recapture the form that set this league alight early as Chop, his shot cast away. And Rose does well to stop there. Another counter-attacking opportunity for Spirit. Kavanagh, bit of a heavy touch and does well to recover. Kobayashi, he's dispossessed by De Oliveira, and that's a great ball through to Farah Coco. Can he get a double? Owen Henderson denies him a chance to get a shot off, and it's going to be a corner, and Jay Coates is not happy about that. I'm not sure if he's not happy about the decision or his defender not being able to stop that from going out for a corner, but it's the better of two evils there. Otherwise, if he didn't get to it, Coco had a pretty good chance to at least get it on target and worry the Spirit keeper. To De Oliveira, he's third of the game. Third corner, I should say. Just about everyone forward for United 58. De Oliveira goes direct. Coates has to punch it away. Falls to Coco. Lays it off. Nakano, back to Coco. And Coates, the long outstretched arms, denies Krislovic a headed chance there. And Nakano selflessly played it to Coco on the overlap, and gotta think he might have been better off just going himself there. And sometimes the selflessness of a player like that can be an undoing in an attacking chance like that, and it certainly was there, as Spirit lining up a substitution of their own. Looks like it's gonna be Kaya Williams coming on. Vastelitsa and Rose, a bit of miscommunication there as to whose ball that was, and it's worked out well in the end there as the skipper earns his side a throw-in. The substitution here, and it's going to be the captain Grant Cornwell coming off for Kaya Williams. So Gabtillo will come on as well, replacing Leroy Jennings. So a bit of a glimpse of a future front three for Sydney United
coming off the
58
field
here.
to be replaced by number 12, Gabriel Tillo. And also coming on for NWS Spirit was number 3, Kaya Williams.
De Oliveira. Ball just pinballing around in the middle there, looking for a home, and it's found it through Costa Petrados. Loses it just as quickly as he gathers it. It's good defensive work from Bailey Rule, who's going the other way now. Gabtillo with his first touch off the bench. He's a special talent, Tillo. Had a chance to break through there. Referee says it was a fair challenge. Getting past two men there was Mostafi. One of them being Tillo, who was working hard to win the ball back. Coco. That's a good ball from Nakano, and a nice flick through from Krislovic. Coco again. Tillo almost gets ahead to it. And it was Mostafi working hard defensively to get rid of that. Bit of a botch clearance there. Falls to De Oliveira. Rule trying to flick it back to him, and that would have been spectacular if he got some good connection on that. And just gliding past the studs. But it's still going to be a chance for United 58. Vastelitsa. Rule try to pick out Chop, and tracking back well there was Andre Takami. He halted the attacking momentum there, but it's right back on. What a ball from De Oliveira, and a brilliant save from Coates, denying Julian Chop, who's been asking the question of the Spirit defence in their own box all day long, and he finally gets his chance there. And it's the best save of the day so far for Jay Coates. But another corner for United 58, and this time it's going to be Nakano. Nakano's cross at the front stick. Nicholas first to it. Strong clearance away. Rule goes on the ground. I'm not sure if that was the intent or not, but seems to have worked out for the time being. Rose is under lots of pressure there from Kavanagh. Had to get a ball away, and it's Michael Classic out of all people, the centre-back, looking to get that ball through. And great work and great bravery from Julian Chop. Especially a young player like that might be a bit wary of going into a challenge with a more senior player like Petrados. De Oliveira went for it and couldn't get much behind it as the chest of Owen Henderson stopped that shot in its tracks. And Mustafi, who's had lots of involvement in the attack in the first half, but has sat back a little bit more in the opening proceedings of this second half. Giving his side just an extra man in defense has proved vital so far. Great header by Chop. And Coco tried to play it through to Krislovic and just hit the wrong line. It's classic. Shields off Keeley as Pavlicic spilled his lines a little bit there. Won't matter in the end, though. So Spirit this season, just 2 wins away from home in the 12 games played. And 7 of the 9 wins coming at home at Christie Park. It's a fortress up there for a reason. Tilo thought about it and tried to play Chop through. And again, pretty easy pickings there for Kavanagh. It's Bailey Rule. Brilliant work there to turn defense into attack. De Oliveira pushed off the ball, and it's the exact same outcome there, just in a different way for Sydney United 58. As De Oliveira tried to get the ball in, and it was Mustafi got the ball out, but off De Oliveira and wins his side of throw. So Spirit will be lining up a double substitution here. It's going to be Thomas Mason and Noah Peacock, both coming on just to add some fresh legs to that front three that haven't had much chances so far in the second half. Tiller, good ball in. Falls to Nakano. That is one of the best goals you will see this season. Koye Nakano, take a bow. Unbelievable. That is serious skill.
What a strike by number 21, Koya Nakano!
And he lifts the roof off the Sydney United Sports Centre.
NWS Spirit 0.
I gotta be honest, when he struck it at first, I didn't think it was any hope of going in, really. But that is an absolutely brilliant strike from Koya Nakano, and he can't wipe the smile off his face, and he shouldn't, because that goal is going to be replayed for many, many years. So 2 goals from Sydney United 58, and they both could probably be goal of the season contenders, really. Nakano, I think he's got a really good chance with that one. How on earth did he pick out the roof of the net from there? Nakano now on defensive duties. You almost forget that the ball's back in play after a shot like that. After a spectacular strike, I should say. I'm underselling it myself. And Nakano is focused back on his defensive duties. What a goal. Simon Nicholas now, he's verged forward a lot in this second half, and he's looking to just get more numbers behind the ball for Spirit. The game's not entirely gone for them. There's still plenty of time on the clock. This ball through to Mostafi, and he just can't get it across, and it was a brilliant effort from Bailey Rule to shield him off and win his side a goal kick. Vlastelica goes long, and Coco was hugging the touchline, and just the trajectory of that pass wasn't going to hit him. And he was aware of that. You can see him tracking all the way back there, Coco. Just that little bit of pressure, forcing Serpez into the mistake. And another goal kick for United 58. Classic has to get rid of it. He had Keeley lurking in the background. De Oliveira senses Tilo. Gabriel Tilo. And Nicholas, the last-ditch effort to get it away from him is successful, but it's still in the possession of United 58. Vlastelica now. Nakano. Couple calls for shoot there. You never know, considering his goal there. Tilo. Tilo. Yeah, gets past Mostafi. Back in. Krislovic. Oh my goodness. That really would have topped off an afternoon of spectacular goals. Would have been the three best I've seen in one singular game from a team anyway, as the double substitution is confirmed. It's going to be Callum Keeley and Costa Petrados who received the yellow card on the brink of halftime, coming off for Thomas Mason and Noah Peacock.
Coming on for NWS Spirit FC, number 21, Noah Peacock, and number 32, Thomas Mason.
So he's just not going the way of Spirit today, and that right there just showing what type of luck they're in at the moment. United 58 have forced them into a handful of costly mistakes, and probably unfortunate to not have found another goal or two. There's a free kick here. Will give them another good chance to possibly find a third, and what would all but definitely be the ceiling goal. Oliveira goes short. Takami deals with it pretty easily. And Rose lofts that one high. Serpez tries to head it away, and Classic's there. First touch of the ball for Peacock. Williams almost got his lines miscued there with Henderson, and it's going to be a throw for Spirit. So for Spirit coming up, a back-to-back home stand in their final two home games of the season. That is against Blacktown City next Saturday, and then they travel to Manly the week after before a home game at VSP against the SD Raiders. And they'll look to go into that one with at least a point if they can try and strike one back here. They'll get a corner, and it's a good start. So they finish the season just down the road here at the Marconi Stadium. That game could very well be a title determiner, depending on other results. Obviously, Apia Leichhardt playing Sydney Olympic at the moment, and the Stallions down 1-0 to St. George City. It's blowing this title race open. Good ball in and headed away. Was headed by Rose and just fell onto Kaya Williams. And it's going to be a goal kick. So after this for Sydney United 58, they'll head down to Wollongong before a trip to Belmore against Sydney Olympic, who could, in theory, be already relegated, but in at least one of the two relegation zones, so they'll be fighting to at least not be automatically relegated. So that'll be a really interesting clash there. Obviously, the traditional rivalry in this competition, and then they had to Apia Leichhardt will be here in a couple weeks' time in probably the biggest match of the season remaining, and they finish off the season here at 5 o'clock on the 30th of August against St. George FC, who could also be in the same boat as Sydney Olympic, where the relegation spot might be confirmed, but it's a matter of if it's automatic or if they go into the playoffs. So in essence, they won't be playing against any teams with nothing to play for, Sydney United 58, in the final couple of weeks. Obviously, Wollongong Wolves will still be fighting for a bit of pride and whatever glimmer they have left of a finals charge. The Oliveira wins it back brilliantly, and now Krislovic doesn't have much support. He's going to have to go himself, Michael Krislovic. It'd be something spectacular if he could find the back of the net from here, and just had to launch it back in the box. And again, just no one home for United 58. Julian Chop was the closest of them and never really came close, unfortunately. De Oliveira now, bit of space to go forward, goes for the long-range efforts. Not a bad attempt in the end, and for him, Jake Coates seen it all the way. It back and wins a foul for his side in the process, as Sydney United 58 will line up another substitution, and it's going to be the goal scorer of the opening goal scorer, Farah Coco, coming off for Carl Chimenti.
Please give our goal scorer number 44, Farah Coco, a big round of applause as he's replaced by number 9, Carl Chimenti.
So pretty good timing for Coco. He seemed to be cramping up a little bit in the hamstring area as he walks off pretty slowly, but a good afternoon for Farah Coco. He had a couple of good chances and made Jake Coates work, especially in the first half when his effort just minutes before scoring the opener, and then obviously that sensational goal, lobbing it over Jake Coates and a line of Spirit defenders to find the side of the net. On the good side, though, it should be said. Rose launches it across, and Nakano in midair controlling it. So as things stand, Apia Leichhardt have a 4-point lead, and that's with the 1 point that they currently have, as they are 0-0 in the very early stages of their clash against Sydney Olympic. And Marconi Stallions still behind St. George City in second place on 55 points, and United 58 at the moment with 54 points. So would be hoping for Olympic to pull off an upset there, and they'd be within reaching distance of first again. Chop was falling, got it away, and Mostafi goes to ground, and that's going to be a card for Dylan Rose. And very, very early on in this game, Dylan Rose was close to going in the book, and the referee gave him a final chance, and that final chance was taken there. So just the second yellow card of the game, and it's going to go to Dylan Rose. And another free kick here as Simon Nicholas is down in back play. So bit of an attacking shift here. Krislovic will shift out to the left as Kyle Chimenti go down the middle in his preferred number 9 role, as the back of his jersey suggests. Henderson pokes it past Krislovic. Still got lots of energy considering the amount of work he got through in the first 75 minutes here. Bailey Rule, he's had an afternoon and a half. He just doesn't stop working. And this is some run from Chop. Lays it off to Chimenti. Bailey Rule. And the deflection was crucial there. Jake Coates easily collects that one. And that really would have been the capping off of a stellar afternoon for Bailey Rose. Henderson. And it's one thing United 58 have done really well all game, and it's putting the Spirit defence under pressure, playing the ball out from their own end. Good header by Vlastelica. And Rose now with a chance to go forward. Thought about the shot, laid it off to Chimenti. And the combination of Nicholas and Mostafi wins the ball back as Chop plays it on the ground. De Oliveira with a good touch. Chop. Chimenti is just a little bit behind the ball, and they're really knocking on the door for a third now. Sydney United 58. Spirit have just plateaued here a little bit. We know they can score goals. They just haven't presented themselves with any real opportunities in the last 10 minutes or so. Can they ignite a comeback here? Kobayashi goes himself. Kobayashi! Just inches wide of what would have been another spectacular goal this afternoon. So a couple more Sydney United 58 substitutes get the legs loose. I wonder if Mira Vlastelica, currently talking it over with his assistant coaches, will look to make another sub. Now Chimenti, and that is good from Owen Henderson. Diffusing the attacking chance, but the defensive work of Bailey Rule has ignited another attack. Tilo, Chimenti first time! And that really would have sealed it there. And you can sense the disappointment from the crowd. They want more goals here. Tilo and Rule on the right side have been causing chaos since Tilo came on about 20 minutes ago. Kavanagh. Good ball through to Peacock. This could start something. Good ball across from Peacock to Mason. And Classic with the crucial stop. The two substitutes combining there for Spirit. And they are proving they are not out of this one bit. And one goal could significantly shift the momentum of this game. And if they scored there, it would have been 10 minutes or so to bag another and potentially get 1 point from this game. Classic on clean-up duty again there. A direct cross. Pavlicic has to get a fist to it. And a good punch away on the back foot, and definitely copped a knock on his way down, Adam Pavlicic. Looking for a 13th clean sheet of the season. We'll take him to outright first in the competition, in the race for the Golden Glove, as Kobayashi, his cross was deflected and on the path of goal, and Pavlicic tried to keep it out for a corner, but he was just a second too late. So it looks like Anthony Tomilic is going to be coming on for the final 10 minutes or so here. As Kavanagh, his cross forces at least a go at it from Pavlicic, who just had to play it safe there. Whether or not there was a player there, which in that case there wasn't, he had to get something on it. As Peacock's header just glances past his. Now a chance for Krislovic, if he can get there. Taken down by Nicholas, and this has got to be red, and it is. And that is the end of Simon Nicholas's afternoon. He probably had to do it, otherwise Krislovic was one-on-one with Jay Coates. And it's a disappointing end to what has been a good afternoon for Simon Nicholas. He's put in a shift and a half. So Spirit are really against it now with 9 minutes to go. So Tomislav Ozanic will also be coming on momentarily for Sydney United 58. De Oliveira gets a good connection with it and curled it. But Jay Coates again, pretty unharmed, collecting that one. Takami. Kobayashi. His pass intercepted by Chop. Vlastelica. So it looks like it'll be both Tomilic and Ozanic coming on. Whether or not both centre mids are taking off, or Tomilic might replace Vlastelica or Glasic in the back. We will see in a couple moments' time. But meanwhile, United 58 want to make it 3. Krislovic. Rose. Rule. Tilo calls for handball there. Referee waves it off. Was pretty close to the chest area. Can understand that one. Rule. He wants a goal. And Rose's touch. A bit too heavy as Coates stops that one from going out for a goal kick and leaves it in his hands. Play out from the back here. Kaya Williams does well to get past Krislovic there. Little dummy step and gets through the left. He's made a good dart at it from centre back. Linking up with Peacock now. A good first time pass from Takami, but Nakano catches Peacock out of position there. It's going to be 3 subs now. Liam McGing joining the 3. Awaiting substitution. Mason. Vlastelica. Working hard again. Kobayashi can't get past Nakano. And he leaves it for his captain to clear, but Mason was first to it. Serpez smartly does well to get that off Nakano, as the triple substitution will now be made. So Julian Chop, Michael Krislovic and Adrian Vlastelica will all make way.
Coming on for Sydney United, number 5, Anthony Tomilic. Number 14, Liam McGing, and number 35, Tomislav Ozanic.
So probably sacrificing an attacker to put an extra body in the middle of the park, Miroslav Stolica. As Tomilic with his first touch coming off, almost sent Gabtillo on his way. And Ozanic getting very involved as Dylan Rose wins it back here, and this is a great chance for United 58. Tillo's pass lacked a bit of power, and it's coughed up in the end there. As Takami goes down with a big scream, and Tillo's working very hard to win the ball back, and he does get a touch to it eventually. So Takami's still in a lot of pain, and Sam Armson, who is awaiting substitution, will likely have to replace him in the middle of the park with a like-for-like substitution there. United 58 all out of substitutes. Spirit still with two more up sleeve if needed. Or one more after this, after Sam Armson comes on. So Takami will have to leave the pitch, but he will be staying on by the looks of it. Sergio Mafara urges his player to get back on. Or he urges the referee to let his player back on, and he is now. So we're back to 10v11. It was momentarily 11v9. Almost forgot that Simon Nicholas had been sent off. So Tomilic does well to win it back there and finds Ozanic. He just had too many yellow shirts in his way and caught a couple deflections on the way out. And McGing with his first involvement off the bench there, clearing the ball firmly away from the defensive line. Serpez tripped over his own feet and landed on his wrist, and there is a bit of concern here, especially from Carlos de Oliveira, whether he might have popped his wrist out potentially. Looks to be in a decent amount of pain, and de Oliveira quickly waved on the physio.
Just a reminder, our next home match is here at Sydney United Sports Centre on the 23rd of August against Apia Leichhardt with a 2:30 p.m. kickoff. And before that, there is the Australia Cup on the 12th of August, and that is at a venue to be decided, and that once again will be against Apia. Progress scores from other grounds: Sydney FC Youth lead Blacktown 2-1. Manly and Rockdale 1-1. St George City 1, still lead Marconi 0. And Apia 1, lead Sydney Olympic 0.
So that result there over the PA, it's, if things stay the same for Sydney Olympic, they will be finishing in one of the bottom two spots with no further way up. And as we said earlier, very impressive run for St George City as a quick double substitution is made here for Spirit. So Sam Armson comes on to
NWS
replace
Spirit, number
Corey
4,
Kavanagh.
Brady Smith, and number 15, Sam Armson.
And it's Brady Smith who comes on as well as the final substitute of the afternoon. Smith replaces Serpez, who looks to have seriously hurt his wrist there. He's in a self-made sling, so two big injuries in back-to-back weeks for Spirit. Pretty bitter way to end the season, with their finals hopes fading away. Obviously, it is a completely wide open race at the moment. It's anyone's guess as to who finishes from 4 to 6. Obviously, the battle for that 4th spot and to see who will join the likes of Sydney United in the Australian Championship at the end of the season. As Mason offloads it, and Pavlicic happy to let that one whizzle past him and hit the side netting. So Apia with the goal, and the temporary 3 points would give them a 6-point buffer over Sydney United 58. So in their remaining 4 games, they would need Apia to at least lose one of them, and then potentially come down here in the penultimate round and very much could decide the title, depending on what Marconi do as well. So it's going to be a thrilling final 4 rounds of the NPL Men's New South Wales competition. You can't miss a second of it. Rose launches it forward, no one home for United 58. Williams out of Smith. Sends it long, and McGing touches a little bit too heavy. So quick throw as the Spirit, one last roll of the dice. Strong header away by McGing. And the Oliveira lays it back to Nakano. Ozanic gets it forward to Chimenti. Now it's Brady Smith. We cut back in to get past Ozanic. Bailey Rule again, the double clearance almost. Armson almost knocked 2 United 58 players into their own hands there, with Rose and Tomalic combining. Henderson to Coates, just past Chimenti there from Coates. Henderson just has to get it forward. McGing deals with that, and Nakano sends it long up into the top row of the Boca stand. And they're going to need the ball, and that's a good throw from the top of the Boca stand here. Bring back the ball, kids. Tomalic wins it back, and one last opportunity maybe for the Spirit. Takami, just one touch too many. McGing guides that away for a goal kick in what should be the final kick of the game, and it is. Sydney United 58 bounce back from last week and secure 3 vital points with 2 of the best goals of the season so far.
NWS Spirit
Thank you for joining us on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. I've been Dominic Creniti. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Returning here in the next home fixture against Apia on August 23, 2:30 p.m. kickoff.